Thank you very much, Prez. Happy holidays. We've got a great slate of NFL games. I've got one prop for tonight's game, and then I've got two for Christmas Eve. Let's start with tonight. I'm looking at quarterback Trevor Lawrence over 11 and a half rushing yards. The Jags and Lawrence right now are getting a lot of attention and a lot of praise, and Trevor Lawrence specifically getting praise for what he's doing through the air. But we have to remember, Trevor Lawrence can run. I mean, he's got speed, he's got toughness. He was the first overall pick for a reason. Lawrence is averaging 16 rushing yards per game. 11 and a half seems like it's going to be pretty easy to hit. Not to mention, he's going up against a Jets defense that has struggled with mobile quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson, Jacoby Brissett, Kenny Pickett, they're all rushing more than 11 and a half this season, well over that number. I like 11 and a half over for Trevor Lawrence rushing yards. Let's switch over to Saturday. We've got our Christmas Eve games. I'm going to eye running back Dalvin Cook over 73 and a half rushing yards. He's hit over this 5 of the last 7 games, and Dalvin Cook is getting a ton of carries. His production is a lot, and this number might seem high, but he's going to be going up against a Giants run defense that's allowing the third most rushing yards per game, averaging 150. I like Dalvin Cook to run the ball a lot. The Minnesota Vikings are going into this game saying, establish the run and get points up early on so we don't have to rely on a second half comeback again. Take over 73 and a half rushing yards for Dalvin Cook. My last bet I have is wide receiver DK Metcalf under 76 and a half receiving yards. I've shied away from Seahawks props, not any reason in particular, but I looked at this number and I thought, this seems a bit high. The reason we're seeing it at 76 and a half is because Tyler Lockett's out. We're also going to be seeing maybe some injuries within the wide receiver group, aside from Lockett. A few guys questionable. Marquise Goodwin's questionable. Tight end Noah Fant is questionable. But even with that, 76 and a half is just too much. 10 games this season, the under has hit that for DK Metcalf. And he's not going to be getting as many open passes. They're going to be dealing with weather in Kansas City. 8 degrees kickoff. I like Pete Carroll and the Seattle Seahawks to spread the ball out a little bit more, rely heavily on Will Dissly, some of their other tight ends. I like under 76 and a half receiving yards for DK Metcalf. So we've got that. We've got over 73 and a half rushing yards for Dalvin Cook. And for tonight, take over 11 and a half rushing yards for Trevor Lawrence. Happy holidays. Thank you, Prez. Go cash some tickets.